This is Rydak Tea Estate, part of the Rydak Syndicate Limited, which was originally incorporated on the 24th February 1898 under the Indian Companies Act. They currently have 6 tea estates which are located in Assam and West Bengal Duars region. Rydak Syndicate Limited is a member of the Indian Tea Association, the National Tea Research Foundation, the Tea Research Association, and the Tea Board of India. Rydak Tea Estate is one of the oldest tea gardens in West Bengal and covers several hectares of land. This is David Phillips. Today, you will be introduced to the world of tea making through this short presentation. Hope you'll enjoy it. This is Rydak Tea Estate, part of the Rydak Syndicate, one of the oldest tea gardens in the West Bengal, which covers several hectares of land. Today you will be introduced to the world of tea making through this short presentation. This is the nursery where either tea bush cutting or seed are planted to begin the tea bushes. It takes several lakhs of tea plants to fill just one section of tea garden. From the time a plant is started in the nursery until it is able to yield tea leaves is about 1 year. Much intensive work goes on into grooming of the plants. Tea bushes grow best in the acidic soil and in the region where heavy rainfall, approximately 40 inches per year, and humidity are present. Generally, there are 2 times of harvest, early springs and summer. Winter is dormant, time when the factory machinery is cleaned and overhauled. The need for plants for thousands of tea gardens in Assam and Dwars and West Bengal is enormous. Jardine and Henderson Tea Garden is one of the several companies in the area. They own 3,842 hectares of land, and each year they require 20 to 25 lakhs of new plants for their garden. The approximate life of tea plant is under 60 years. This nursery only for this garden is over 2 hectares. Here are some plants which are going to be planted, and this is how you plant. Very simply, you take the polythene bag and you put it in the ground and cover it, and this is one of the estate managers who is showing that. These plants are about 8 months old, and they are going to be now taken care of for another 4 months until they come to a place where they are going to begin to yield. The irrigation process is from the tube well, where there are pipes, aluminum pipes, and with this modern sprinkler system throughout the thousands of acres of land, they are continually doing pruning, cutting, and all kind of preparation before the tea bush comes to a place that it can give you a production. A tea bush can be only 20-inch tall. In order to do that, these ladies are going to come and they are going to cut the top of the leaves so the branches will spread in such a way that a proper bush eventually will be formed. There are approximately 3,000 to 4,000 people who are called pluckers in a tea garden, who come in various shifts and do various type of work. Specifically, plucking is done by women who leave their children under a tree by some attendants which they have hired or company has arranged for, and they go all day working like this. This is a tea bush, and this is an example that how eventually it turns out when it is ready to give an yield. As I watched these women, I realized that plucking of tea leaves is a very precise work. You don't pluck any leaves, but you only pick the special kind.
These leaves only. You cannot make, this is what we have plucked. This is pluckable leaf.
Now they bring their baskets here, they're measured, and that's how they're paid. And then the tea leaves goes into these trucks, which takes them to the factory for processing. At the factory, you will see that the leaves are dehydrated with a sophisticated fan method under a controlled temperature. Here in the factory, the conveyor belts on the top carrying those leaves are now dropping it through this shaft, and from there it is coming here, and the method which is commonly used is called crush, tear and curl. And these green leaves are now going through various processes at various machines, and many heating methods are applied to keep them under a controlled temperature. And as you follow this process, you see that producing tea is a very scientific method, and it has to be precise. The better the method and more precise, the better production and the quality of tea. From here the tree is collected, and then it is taken to a floor where it is going to be now spread like this. Now, right now it looks green, but as it sits there over a certain amount of time, the oxidation starts to take place. It is almost like rusting the tea. As any fruit, when you cut and leave it and it reacts to oxygen, that is precisely what's happening here. But that's a very important part. Each of this process in the factory, taking tea to a line of some kind of roller or heating device, is specifically designed to control the quality. The quality of tea is very important because in order to hold the market, you need to produce a tea that will be auctioned for a high price. So this whole process that you see here is very scientific, and it is controlled by temperature and by many other things, as you will see. From here the tea is going to a place where it is going to be tasted and it is going to be graded. And in order to do that, you have to have a degree, a science degree, in order to do that. And you take this tea and you boil it to a certain amount of time, and each of this tea comes from a certain line, and now the tasters are going to put the tea in their mouth and they are going to roll it around in their mouth, and then they will determine the quality of the tea. It will be interesting for you to note that the tea bag that you usually drink is not the quality that you see here. That is the lowest quality, which comes from tea dust, and other elements are mixed with them. But here what you see is a real tea. The purpose of this short presentation is twofold. One is to give you a bird's eye view of how the tea is processed, and the other one is to help you realize the enormous amount of tea plants that are needed today in the tea cultivation business. As of today, there is no company that is carrying out the humongous task of tea tissue culture. And that is where we come in. Thank you for watching.